Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing today? No, no face cam today because it's just too damn hot. Yes, this is a thing that I need to do. I was doing some off-camera work last night or the other night, and I forgot to turn the sound back on. So we got the 240 cultivating. Are you doing something stupid? We got the 135 on the cedar, and I can't remember if there's something else that was being done. Also, I need to fix my wheel in a second. No face cam. It's too hot. Ooh. I'm barely after starting the stream and I'm sweating already, so it's not going to be fun for the next 2 hours for me. Okay, there's nothing being done. And there's a facecam command if Nightbot wants to work. Nightbot not going to want to work because it... Do I have to fix Nightbot too? Hey, Nightbot does work. Also, hello Matthew, Johnson, Yuso, Brendan, Patrick, everybody else in here. So let's raise the cedar up, and I'm going to tap out real quick and fix my wheel. There we go. How am I doing? I'm doing good. Modern Classics now, MR. It doesn't change me not using it. I'm not gonna use MR. I don't like MR. I don't enjoy MR. It's not fun for me at all. Dave is too hot today. Dave is extremely hot today. He is already sweating. No face cam, Zach. It's too hot. Well, it's doing good sideways. I have no complaints today. I'm gonna be going for a shower after the stream and running to the shop, getting a bite to eat, and then actually later tonight I will hopefully be doing some Twitch streaming. Because I have the house to myself for the weekend, which means I can basically go ham on whatever I want to do. So I'll probably run a Twitch stream later on. David is a sweaty girl. David is a sweaty girl. To be fair, it's like probably around 30 degrees in my room today. And it's not fun. It's a classic speeder, Dave. What? What about classic speeders? Hello, David. How's things? Things are good. Things are good. I'm glad to be back on YouTube. Is it... I'm not sure if Patrick's trolling or if he's not live. Cedar, yes! Yeah, this is from way back in FS13. This, to my knowledge, first came out, but I've heard it has also been in FS11. It's some oval testing in the trucks. Yeah, oval racing is, for me, not fun. I'm okay at it, I'm consistent, but it's not fun. Watching me from the hayfield. Maybe you should be like doing some hay or something. What's my favourite tractor? I'm driving it. It's the Massey Ferguson 135. Hey, CD. 11's where it started. You're 9% sure. Like I said, like it's to my knowledge the first time this was in was FS13, but that's also the first farm sim game I played. So there's kind of a thing there where, you know, I'm not going to be perfect there. Hello, Jamie. I'm kind of old school with the stream today. No face cam because I don't have a fan in my room. Which somebody said, oh, you should turn on a fan. I don't have one. If I did, this wouldn't be a problem. Hello, Hugh. I remember bailing with that pack. I loved that pack. The little, was it a coon bailer? Like, almost completely useless, but was really good for early game straw bales and hay bales. The funny thing is I think that Giants could bring back that baler now and it'll be a lot more useful than it ever was. Hopefully Giants will drop some new information about FS19 at E3. I have heard that there will be information at E3. And I have also heard through the grapevine that there will be a big announcement at E3. So we'll get news probably like early next week. Or not early next week, but early the week after E3. Maybe next week. We'll get news soon about FS19, what the big reveal is. Because Giants have been really talking about this big reveal. Also, I do realize the cultivator is actually going through some of the seeded area, which isn't ideal. No face cam today. No face cam today. It's too hot. It's just too warm for me. To comfortably stream the way that I'm used to. So, or the way that you guys are used to, I guess, is a better way of putting it. So the face cam has been switched off for today. I'm right there about Giants' big reveal. I know I am. I keep up to date with the Farms and news. Definitely the FS19 news. It's freezing there. It is... Where's my phone? It's 22 degrees here, but it feels a lot warmer than that. You're thinking John Deere is the big reveal. The current theory is that it's either going to be John Deere or Class. Now there's been some people saying, oh well, I've never heard this many rumors about John Deere and I never heard this level of hype about John Deere for Farm Sim before. And that's true, there has never been this many people saying, oh, I think it's John Deere. But there's also never been this many people who play Farm Sim. And me and Andy were talking about this a while back. It's like, yeah, there's more people saying there's rumors of John Deere, but there's also just more people who play Farm Sim now. So it's, you know, impossible to say which it is. It is, I will say with about 90% certainty, it's going to be one of those two. It is going to be, I am 90% sure, one of those two, whether it's John Deere or whether it's Class, is the big reveal. I think it's between them realistically. It could be Kubota. They could be throwing a curveball, and it could be Kubota, and everybody would be angry. But odds are it's one of the remaining two giant brands, the two mega brands that are not in the game yet. But one thing I will say, with 100% certainty, is you should never trust rumors. I source my information from reliable places. John Deere class, that's speculation, that's effectively a rumor, don't trust it. Big announcement, that is fact. Information at E3, that is fact. You'd rather have class combines but John Deere tractors. I'd rather have class, personally. I think class have more to bring to the table. Although if you include Kubota, I'd actually say Kubota. Because I feel like Farm Sim needs orchard tractors in the game. I feel like they're, you know, something that is right now missing from the equation is smaller equipment that won't be end game stuff, but you can use towards the start of the game. If it's John Deere, most streamers won't be happy. The class won't be an FS19. I can tell you another fact, and that is I genuinely don't really care which brand it is. The reason myself and Landy think class is a better option is they have more to bring. They've got a more interesting range of vehicles, in my opinion, and a more interesting range of equipment for that matter. John Deere, it's all very samey. Now, if it is John Deere, there will be complaints from YouTubers, because we know that the people who are currently demanding John Deere mods will be demanding we use nothing but John Deeres in the game. And I'm gonna come straight out and say, that ain't gonna happen if John Deere are in the game. That ain't gonna happen with me. I'm gonna use a variety of equipment. I know that right now I'm spamming Massey's. I spammed New Hollands in the past. I go through these phases where I spam, you know, one brand for a little while. What's that? There's some... That's concerning. I go through... Go through phases where I spam a brand. That's just something I do. But I prefer to see, you know, a variety of stuff over just everything on maps being the one brand. If John Deere comes into the game, I know for a fact that so many maps will have just John Deere starter equipment. Hey, Lone Wolf. I think Giants should spend more time different crops rather than adding horses. It depends on how the horses are put in. If they're just kind of a visual thing and they have no purpose whatsoever, then yeah, they should have spent it elsewhere. Especially with like the art guys being diverted to doing something that has no real use. If it's workhorses or something like that, then yeah, I'm totally in favor of horses being in the game. At the end of the day, it's up to the content creator to use what they want. Yeah. Hello, Ruggles. What'd you miss, Patrick? Not a whole lot. We're just talking FS19 rumors and speculation, as we will do for probably the next 3 or 4 months. So get used to these kind of conversations where we compare and contrast class and John Deere, and well, we might not have to in the future. In a couple of weeks, they'll make them like the chickens. Oh my god! I hope they don't make it like the chickens. Unless you're Daggerwin. I'd like to see Daggerwin have a bigger say in his own channel. I'll be honest, I prefer if he... This is gonna sound questionable. I'd prefer if he turned his channel into a dictatorship than it being the shout the loudest and you'll get what you want kind of place that it is right now. He's a bit too much of a yes man for his own good. And I prefer to see him saying, no, I'm not using that because I don't like it. Or I'm not using that because it's bad. I'm not using that because it looks stupid. You know, I get that he feels he has to be the yes man and please everybody, but I prefer to see him please himself and just enjoy the game. You'd like to see Crone play a bigger role. I would too. I'd like to see them bring back a Big M. I'd like to see like a 400 series Big M in the game. It's his channel, it's his call. Exactly. Like, you guys will notice on Discord, if and when I want input, I will ask for it. Like today, I put up a straw poll asking what you guys want me to stream. And I gave the options. And you guys chose the stream today. That's, I think, a fair way to do it. You'll notice Landy does it too from time to time. He'll come in here and say, hey, who wants to watch this on my stream later? Grown Big X Cargo. I don't think that'd be nice. Hello, Swampland Willie, by the way. Chrome Bailers. Chrome Bailers would be nice. But I'd like to see some sort of end game more. Because right now you kind of grind to a halt with the butterflies. Which is fine, by the way. But I'd like to see like a 400 series Big M put in. Just as a kind of a next step beyond the butterfly moors. So I haven't spoken to you guys since this came out. Or since it came out, I should say. What do you guys think of the the New Holland D1000 beta that came out recently? I have had a look at it, and I have to say I like it. It won't work with, as far as I'm aware, it won't work with auto stackers very well, if at all. But if you're doing manual stacking, I think it's a really good option. It's a different style of bale. It's not your generic 4,000 liter bale. You can use smaller equipment for it. I do plan on bringing it on here as well. Fills the cow troughs before he cleans the mess. I've done that so many times. It's... Paul, I'll be honest. That's so easy to do when you go onto autopilot. Because you start thinking, oh, I gotta sort out the animals. Well, we'll feed them. Because you never had to clean the mess before. He's gone into FS15 autopilot. And it's so hard once you get into that habit of feed the animals and then muck them out. It's so hard to get out of that kind of rhythm. That you do get stuck like that. You do end up feeding the animals and then looking at the mess on the ground and saying, oh, I did it dumb. It's in a big heap. That doesn't matter. You don't notice that. You go into autopilot, you don't see it. I've done that so much. Especially if you're like recording or streaming, because you have to think about what you're saying, and your gameplay kind of goes into autopilot. Hello, Darth Plagius. Glad to hear you enjoyed SB's video, by the way. It's good to see him back on YouTube. It is so good to see him back on YouTube, even if it's going to be an every so often kind of thing. It's a really nice. I genuinely like it. I like the fact that he's got so much animation. He's got so much going on with it. He's got like the twine refill scripting, where every 50 bales you got to get out and refill the twine. What are my plans for the final 3 tractors for the Insanity Challenge? I don't have plans for the final 3. I can't have plans for the final 3 tractors. My plans are basically, what am I doing in the next 2-3 hours? Hello, Podge. How you doing? And my plans for the next 2-3 hours are basically get this field seeded up, field 10 sorted out, and then fertilize it up to stage 2. I think we're on with fertilization. Just want to double check. Yeah, 14 and 15 are both on stage 2. It sounds like I'm talking from... Is that better? I'm in a slightly different position to usual. Or did something go wrong with my microphone? Yeah, plans start once I go positive with money. I didn't realize the sounds were a bit odd today, sorry. Thank you for letting me know, Darth. Do I have plans for the next tractors? Yes, they're going to be over 100 horsepower. Maybe not by much, but they're going to be over 100 horsepower. Yeah, sometimes my mic goes a bit weird. Much better. Okay, I just moved it closer to myself. It was, I guess far away, because I'm sitting in a slightly different position to usual. So that might have been causing a bit of reverb and echo. Hello, N.I. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. So I am, for your listening pleasure, actually using my wheel today. No face cat, it's too hot, bucko. Hello, Simulation for the Nation. How are you doing today? I enjoyed your stream, dude. It was nice to chill out and just listen to that while I was setting up and faffing about in Photoshop, getting that picture just right. I'm pretty good. It's in the 20s CD. It's like 22 here, but well, my phone's saying it's 22. It's not 22. It's probably closer to 26, 27. Quite warm. And my room is hot on a reasonably cool day in the summer, so on a warm day this place is an oven. I'm gonna break from your PC before you edit some stuff. Very nice. I'm gonna, after the stream, run for a shower because I need one, and then run over to the shop to get a couple of things, because I'm here by myself, so I can. Got cooked today. Yeah, it is too hot. It is not fun. Would I say the Man XGS DLC will fit well on Ballymoon? I've never played Ballymoon. I will say, by looking at the pictures, and this is going entirely off the pictures, it will fit beautifully on Shamrock Valley. And as a direct result, I plan on using it as my starter equipment on Shamrock Valley when that comes out and when I've got access to it. Because that is just going to be too perfect. It's too perfect a starter equipment for me to not use it. Especially on that map. There's at least a nice cool breeze coming through my window, by the way. So I'm not, like, sat here dripping in my own sweat or whatever. I'm getting a nice cool breeze, but Shamrock Valley, that's Oxygen David's new map, Alex. Oxygen David's Irish map. The Irish map that I've been calling for the last 4 years. It'll fit perfectly, and I mean, you get the Classics pack. You pair it up with maybe the D1000 Baylor. You've got some really nice starter equipment kind of right there, especially with BulletBill's Marstons. Yeah, you got a nice Irish setup right from the start. Hello, Senan, how are you doing today? If you're enjoying the stream, by the way, guys, please do hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I tried the beta. Yes! I don't work with Chris. That's like, I picked up on the chains are a bit wonky at the back when you unfold the bail chute. The animation's a bit janky and weird. Was there something else? The only other concern other than the chain is, I mean, the bales look weird just because we're so used to the generic Giants bales. Texture work is really nice. More of that, please. And the other concern, the major concern I have is that thing won't work with autoloaders. So you may have been best off releasing some sort of autoloader with it as a kind of a pack. What map is this? This is the West Coast by BulletBill. Facecam's off because it's too hot here. Any fusion beta mods? Yes, but they're all terrible. You have an auto trader ready to roll. You should have released it as a pack, dude. Does it work? I've not tested that, but the grass bales look weird. Because I hopped onto Lone Oak, which was the only map I had set up in a kind of a testing configuration. With a big M and the D1000, and the grass bales look weird. That's all the information I've managed to gather. The unfortunate thing is I can't really fit it on any of the maps I'm currently... Well, on either of the maps I'm currently using. Culver's an addicting map to play. It really is. Hello, Liam. How's the crack? It's going good. Going good today. A bit warm. A bit too warm. Hence the no face cam, because I'm doing my absolute damnedest to keep cool. Where's face cam? It's turned off, Adam. It's too hot today. Matthew, how far behind in the stream are you? Because we were talking about that about 20 minutes ago. Well, maybe 10 minutes ago. We were talking about channel choices in John Deere quite a while ago, though. Any mods today on ModHub? None that I saw. There's no real news from Farm Sim at all at the moment. I know that they're, and I can say this, they are 100% gearing for E3 next week. So don't expect to see mods on the ModHub next week. And maybe not even the week after. Don't expect Lizartan to keep the testing topic up to date. He is one of... I think it's... Is it him and Amboss are going to E3 for Giants? But they're really kind of fully gearing up for FS19 now. They're... You know, once E3 hits and the CGI trailer, it is going to be CGI trailer. That was confirmed on the Discord. Once the CGI trailer comes out, and you know, the whatever big reveal they have, whatever announcements they have are made, that's going to be Giants gearing fully towards FS19. So, I don't know how active the mod hub will be after E3. Will there be gameplay at E3? No. Again, on the Discord, because I try and keep track of that as much as I can. I can't be 100% on it all day, every day, but I pop on periodically. And Lizartan said there will be no gameplay at E3. There will be an E3 trailer, much like with FS17. I'm looking forward to that trailer releasing, because real talk, I know when the trailer's releasing. And I'm not gonna give you a time, but I know when it's coming out. I'm looking forward to going on FSUK that day and just looking at the topic where people are tearing it apart pixel by pixel, frame by frame, because it's hilarious. Like for was it FS17 or FS15? They were FSUK. Some of the forum were dead convinced there'd be buses in that were driving around the map. and bus stops and whatnot. Hello, VF. Dave's the CEO of Giants. I wish. If I was the CEO of Giants, I'd definitely be a media partner. Hey Jack, how's it going? It's going good. A bit too hot for my liking though. Somebody needs to turn down the thermostat. It is just too hot today. This week, in fact. I've been having trouble sleeping, I've been just uncomfortable, I've been sweaty all week. And I don't like it. Somebody just shout at nature to be cooler. Like, dude, stop paying the heating bill, it's the summer. You can cool down a bit. It doesn't help that my PC is putting it, get a fan. What if I had money? Donations are now being accepted for the RainbowDave fan fund. No, I'll look into getting a fan next week to pop on somewhere, I don't know where. 20 isn't hot. It is for Ireland, Llama King. It is, according to my phone, 21 degrees with a thunderstorm right now. I don't see the thunderstorm. I also don't see the 21 degrees, but there is a bit of cloud forming, so there is a small chance that I may have to end early due to a thunderstorm. In which case, I'll just start spamming Thunderstruck in the Discord. Hello, Michael. It's nice, but not hot. It is for Ireland, I'm telling you. What I'm used to, it is way too hot. Am I about to disappear? Not like right this second, but if there is a thunderstorm or if I start hearing thunder, yeah, I'm gonna very quickly end the stream. Spam a link to Thunderstruck. That's what I plan on doing if there is a thunderstorm. Ignore Emma, not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, I was wondering that. I decided not to ask what the hell. Protect the PC. PC's already protected. It's got double surge protectors. So unless it takes literally a direct hit from some lightning, it's fine. Where do I live? County Tipperary, Ireland. I'm not going to give you a town, because that's not something I do. I could play AC/DC's Thunderstruck. Yes! I never get another video monetized, ever. Because if I did that, I'd get banned. I don't want to get banned. Been hearing thunder for the last hour. Yeah, not fun. Your space cam, not on. Clearly. Ask it. Hey, Morton. Where do I live? I swear I've just answered that question about 2 minutes ago. It's because of the temperature. Yeah, I'm sweating. Just not fun. Not comfortable. Need Nightbot command for that. You mean like the exclamation mark facecam command that I have set up since before the stream? that apparently none of the mods know about, and nobody knows about, and it's available to everybody to use, but not spam. I think it's the facecam command. Yeah. Have I snuck that one in? What? Snuck what? Snuck what in? I'm so confused. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, please do hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're back to normal now until I think like the 7th and 8th of next month. The facecam command. Oh, I said it in the Discord. It's not exactly been snuck in if I said it in the public room in the Discord. Ah, Cedar's empty. How long has it been empty? How long have I been seeding literally nothing? Clearly my mods didn't notice. Clearly nobody noticed. Remember how I said don't spam it? Patrick, if you go to the video layer, there should be a button saying live. The little circle next to the word live should be red. Could you just hit the live button for me? Because you're delayed by like a minute or two. And it's really kind of awkward and sometimes annoying for you to ask questions about something I said 2 minutes ago, because I've usually forgotten. What I mean is subscribe. Oh, that too, yes. Although I was telling him to just get up to date with the whole streaming jig, because he is seemingly delayed by like a minute or so. And it is awkward trying to deal with people who are delayed, because sometimes they'll say stuff and I'll get really confused, because that's fine, Patrick. It's just confusing and annoying when somebody is delayed, and sometimes it's not obvious. Luckily with you it was obvious, so do I need to do anything special to be able to go negative funds? Yes, be in the first year, as in not have a harvest done. So, or do you mean like in general in farm sim? Hire more workers than you can afford. CSFTN. Let's get this all spun around in. There we go. Just trying to keep an eye on everything. The pigs, 20% healthy, that's fine. Cows 72% healthy, that's fine. Sheep I am still concerned about. In effort, will FS not tell you you have no money and tell you you can't afford stuff? Well, I'll show you what happens when you're negative funds and you try and buy something. So let's try and buy, just for funsies, a case quad track. I don't have enough money because I'm negative. It will say like you don't have enough money, but stuff like fuel, infinite sources of fertilizer and seeds, stuff, even water if it's a paid source of water, that will not tell you you don't have enough money. It'll just suck away more money. How do you earn more money from YouTube? Be Logan Paul, or be one of the chosen few that YouTube likes. Have like a 5 or 6 million subscribers, and get at least 10 or 15,000 views per day. That's how to make a reasonable amount of money from YouTube. Notice that I have none of those things. So I'm currently looking for work. And having no luck. Be bad at YouTube. Well, you gotta play the system to make money off YouTube, unfortunately. See you, Michael. Hello, Hamish. See you, Paul. Hello, Witchy. But no, to earn money off YouTube, you have to get extremely lucky. The Edith's Return series, which died very quickly, because none of us had the time to record. I'm gonna swap over to keyboard and mouse, because I'm feeling particularly lazy. Everyone hide. Everyone's already hiding! There's 46 people in here and only like 5 talking. You have to do vlogs. You don't necessarily have to do vlogs. You just have to play the YouTube game, which I don't do very well. Because I actually speak my mind. To do well on YouTube, you can't ever speak your mind. Everyone talk. Patrick just getting straight to the point. Yeah, where's everybody from? While you're out of game, just pop out of game. Tell me what you're playing. If you're in Farm Sim, what you're doing, where you're from, and you can be vague, or give a fake answer if you want. And while you're out of game doing that, you can hit the like button on the stream. Saw that coming. Sometimes I can see timeouts coming. Morton's from Norway. Maurice is from Killinchie, outside Belfast. VF is also from Norway. Apparently. New fact, VF is from Norway and can't cook. Things you learn on these streams. Michigan. Well, that's why you think 20 degrees Celsius isn't hot. Cutting silage in Cork in a 7810 in real life. Very nice. So we're getting close to being finished with this field, and close to perhaps getting over to late spring where it's gonna be grass time. Mapping very nice Lone Wolf, something I never have time for anymore. Oh, you saw it coming. Yeah. You see stuff like that going into chat and you just know, oh, there's the timeout. Especially if you know what the mods do on the regular. 20 to 33 in the summer. We get like 15 to 24 is usually a really warm day. 20 is seen as hot. Any more than 20 is really hot. Any more than 24 is, oh my god, why? Dying on Cobra doing insanity. The hard workers are killing you. If you haven't harvested yet, Liam, you're fine. Like, as long as you've not done the first harvest in insanity, you're fine to go negative. And this is actually helping me figure out how much money I'm going to need to do Steam Workshop support. Steam Workshop support won't happen. Giants prefer people to buy direct from them. So it's just not happening. Plus, Giants can have control over the mod hub, which I find is better. It's a better solution, because then they can have the console mods on the mod hub instead of having to figure all that Steam Workshop stuff out. It'd be nice, but not a good idea. If console mods weren't a thing, then yeah, Steam Workshop support would be indeed very nice, but again, it would kind of unfairly punish people who don't buy direct from Giants, which is the people Giants want to reward the most. Because if you buy direct from Giants, Giants gets a much bigger cut of the money. Everyone talking, Dave will talk to you. Yes, I tend to reply to chat. That is kind of, I guess my job as a streamer is to interact. Mods on Switch. Mods on Nokia 3310 Classics. So the 240 is finished. I'll deal with that when I'm down the other end of the field again. There's nothing right now for the 240 to do. This is literally... We've only got two jobs to do now. We've got seeding here and planting potatoes on the far, or on the top end of this field. And because I've started the potatoes and started the seeding, these will have to be done manually. Spintires, Mudrunner, good to play. It's fun. It's... If you've played the original Spintires, it's much the same. It's not a Tipperary accent. My accent has been neutralized from 3 years living in the UK, being in Cork a lot as a young child, and having family from literally everywhere. So, I've kind of learned to neutralize my accent, and this is just how I sound now. We'll have his 19 be on landline. If you played the original Spintires, then yeah, it is better than the original. It's got a lot of fixes, a lot of optimizations. It's what Spintires should have been originally. However, it's maybe, in my opinion, better in multiplayer than in single player. So if you got friends who have Mudrunner, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you don't have friends who play Mudrunner, it's coin toss, 50-50. Will you enjoy it single player or not? I don't know. I can't tell you that. Can you find people to play multiplayer with? Probably. There's probably forums out there, or places you can find people to play Mudrunner with. If you download a mod, does the modder get paid from it? Yes and no. On the mod hub, Giants... Why is my spacebar so wonky of late? Giants will pay modders a certain amount per X number of downloads. I don't know what that amount is anymore. It used to be... Was it 50 euro cents for a mod? And €1 for a map per 1,000 downloads, but I've heard that's changed since then. And if you get like 4 stars or above, that's you get paid full rate. If it's three stars, you get paid half rate. And yeah, like VF said, it does depend on where you download it from as well. Because some of the mod sites uploaded what does this? Uploaded share mods. They actually run ads and pay a small amount per download to the modder. Which is why so many people use uploaded, even though share mods is better, in my opinion. But that's why people use uploaded, is just to get a small bit of payment. Did I tab into the 240? I just need to disable tabbing so that I don't do that by accident. Oh, clearly I didn't tab into the 240. I was coming up here to grab more seeds. Okay. Hello, Abdul. How are you doing today? So let's refill the cedar. That's it filled. Away we go. We can just work on the headlands now. We'll start on the side that has more space to work on. So we should, in theory, get the seeding done today. Then we can get the potato planting done tomorrow or Sunday. With fertilizing done after that, and then we can pretty much skip to late spring after that. Yeah, once we got the fertilizing done, we can just skip into late spring, because that's when we'll want to be doing the first silage harvest. The first grass harvest, so we are doing very well indeed right now. We're actually ahead of the game. After being concerned at the end of day 1 of early spring, we've really pulled it back in day 2, and we're actually ahead of where we need to be, which is good. So, because when you can skip entire kind of season portions, that's great, because late spring we can deal with grass and silage and do the final fertilizer spread. I don't wait for my grass to be 100%. No, you can get more grass by harvesting 3 times per season cycle. How long will the stream be? I'll be going till about 7 o'clock my time. It's currently coming up to about 6. I fully expect the rest of the seeding to take about another hour. Mainly because of the size of the seeder we're using. And after that, we can get onto the potato planter and get that at least started today, I'm hoping. Just do it at 67%. Do it. My advice, Liam, is late spring, late summer, late autumn are your times to mow, regardless of how grown the grass is. Mow it, roll it, or mow it, bale it, roll it, and then leave it until late whatever the next season is. And then late autumn, you mow it, you bale it, and then you have to plough it. And I will be using coarse play to do the ploughing. And you do have to plough the grass fields every year as well. Because we'll just say that you've got horrific compaction issues, or it's a really soft soil, and whatever excuses you want to use for having to plough the grass up every year. before somebody complains, because I know somebody will. I know it's unrealistic. It's not supposed to be realistic. You can, by the way, if you want to, collect up the gold nuggets. Plant the grass fields, I am evil. Yes, I am. I've just realized that's not going to work. You can't plow the grass fields. Well, you can, but I just noticed a massive hole in the rules that I need to fix. I'm going to change the rules. You don't have to plow the grass fields. And the reason behind that is you will then, if you plow the grass fields, you will not get 3 harvests. No, it's one time, 1x time. Delta said that it would be more evil if I had 5x, but I kind of explained to Delta, and with the equipment that I'm using, and this is based around my equipment, that 5 times would mean that I'd not ever actually succeed, because I wouldn't get all the seeding done in time. Good luck tomorrow, Hamish, whatever I'm wishing you luck for. But yeah, I'm gonna change the grass rule, because you can't with seasons you can't roll it. You gotta roll it. That's something you have to do. But I'm gonna change the grass rule so you don't have to plow the grass, because if you do, you'll spend springtime actually waiting for the grass to grow, which you don't want to be doing. You'll miss a full harvest cycle if you do that, and probably possibly, if not probably, not have enough grass on most maps to see the cows through the winter. What'd you miss? More seeding and me realizing one of the rules in this challenge is actually broken. How long left? About an hour, roughly. Shearing all day from 7 AM. Ooh, fun. At least the sheep will be cool. I can't imagine it's fun for the sheep right now if they haven't sheared yet. The plough and seed in the fall. Yes, but the grass wouldn't grow enough over the winter is the issue. The grass doesn't, like, no crop grows over the winter. The grass would basically be stage 0, which is just the little green covering with no growth whatsoever over the winter, and you actually start with stage 1 growth, or stage 2 growth on grass in spring, in seasons. Black grey field on plows. It's not about whether or not you physically can plow, it's that you shouldn't. Because if you did plow, there's a really... Oh no, this is happening again. The rule where you gotta plow grass in the winter, that is broken. You have to plow the grass as well. That's broken, you can't do that. It doesn't work within seasons. It's not compatible with how seasons runs things. And how the game runs things. Because even the game will say, oh, your field is plowed once you have mowed it. So, I'm gonna remove the grass plow rule. Hopefully nobody's got to autumn and plowed their grass already, because I've only just realized that rule is incompatible with the challenge. That is a bug with the challenge, and that needs to be fixed. Because what I accidentally did there was I made the challenge impossible. In theory impossible, at least. Because if you're stuck with your starter fields until 300,000 minimum, and you will have to actually make more than 300,000 to pay off the loan safely, what happens then is you basically get stuck in this cycle of the cows dying and you have to buy more cows. Don't get a messy 390T. Why not? See you then. All trailers have to be dolly trailers. I could have done that, but that would actually make the game unplayable for me. I hate dolly trailers that much that I would just straight up refuse to play if I had to use only dolly trailers. See how everybody's going now. Are you all that bored? I mean, I know I've been seeding all stream, but this, you know, this is work that needs to be done. And in the interest of showing and not just saying that I'm following the rules, I kind of have to do this all on stream. On the bright side, we've... Oh, no, we haven't. I was about to say, oh, we've nearly got this half of the field done. No, we don't. There's still quite a large patch down at the bottom that I just completely skipped out on. On the bright side, we do only have the smaller bit to do once we've got that little chunk... Well, I say little. That chunk over there done. It's going to be a lot less seeding left to do. So we'll sort out the top end of the field first and then go down the side, like I've been doing here. And then we'll have to get the dinky tiny potato planter, which is adorable and I love it. And we will sort that out over there. I've missed a bit. So one thing as well that I've got turned on that I usually don't is crop destruction, even though I don't like it because, well, this seeder's too small for me to do good tram lines, so I'm going to have to manually do them with crop destruction. And even when I am making good tram lines, I'm going to have crop destruction on so that I have to stay as close as possible within the tram lines. And I will allow myself to use narrow tires and kind of, I guess, cheat the system a bit that way by using the narrow tires that don't actually trigger crop destruction. The front wheel falls off. I have never had that happen in Farm Sim, Hamish. It's gonna end one way. Thing is I'm actually reasonably good at tram lining, even with crop destruction. The issue is that I've got a very small spreader, don't I? Or a really small sprayer. I do actually need to get the 240 back in to just get that little, make that little bit out of the potato side of the field. I've got a really quite small sprayer, which means there's going to be a lot of tram lines. There's going to be a lot of this field that gets crop destructed for tram lines. So one of the Sabbath farmer near you towing bales. They're probably towing too many bales. One of the priorities as I move forward with the series is going to be actually getting bigger sprayers. And that's going to be among the first priorities, because bigger sprayers mean I can cover more ground per pass and therefore destroy less crop per pass. So that's that side of the, I guess, the wheat side of the field done. Let's just cut a line up at the top here. Just 4 bales. So many people disrespecting people with disabilities these days, it makes you mad. I hope I didn't do that, Kathy. Yeah, try not to. I try to give everybody equal respect. If I've done something stupid and said something stupid, please let me know. That came out of nowhere. that one wheel spinning? You put a lot on roadblocks around disabilities. Ignore them. It's the best advice I can give. It's not something you can control, so just ignore the idiots that think that you somehow have some modicum of control over your abilities or disabilities. Your abilities you kind of can control by learning things, but disabilities not so much. Very hard though. See, a trick I learned years ago, and I use this, is if you keep getting the same insults from the bullies, this is gonna sound weird. If you keep getting the same insults, challenge them. Challenge them to come up with new insults. Make a game out of it. Because suddenly the bullies start playing the game that you want to play. And suddenly you've taken control over what they do to you. And what they say. And if you have control, is it really bullying anymore? If you have control, you win. So if you don't want to ignore them, make it a game. Win that way. There's always more than one solution. COVF. Confusedly running away. There's always more than one solution to a problem. You just have to come up with the one that works for you. What happens if you use an unofficial convert? Depends on what the modder's done. Some people put viruses in so they can get personal details and stuff. Some people have horrifically broken unofficial converts. Do I have a solution to not be bored all the time? Yes! Do more things. Have plans, do them. Your plans might also be boring, but they'll be less boring than doing nothing. Find yourself a hobby. That's what you do when you get bullied? Yeah, you can be. The people say, oh, if you just ignore them, they'll go away. Well, why don't you win? Why don't you win in a different way? Why don't you make it a game for yourself? What happens if you use Mikhail Fusion unofficial converts? Yes, I have no idea. There's so many of them doing the rounds that, like, I don't know. There's so many unofficial converts of anything doing the rounds. See, Hamish? That I can't answer for any given mod. Like, what'll happen if I use this mod? I don't know. Try it. For all I know, it'll conflict with every mod you have in your folder. For all I know, it's perfectly fine. For all I know, it'll break your computer entirely. Such are the risks when you use mods from questionable sources. Especially, like, unauthorized converts. So that's it. I don't want to say it's the best answer I can give you. It's the only answer I can give you. Is you know, you're putting your luck into your own hands if you use a questionable mod like that. But my reskins make your PC blow up. No, but they'll throw up errors. I am bad at reskinning, as it turns out. How do you do mods without screwing up your computer? You learn how to mod. You take mods from good sources like Giants Mod Hub or FSUK and you start editing them and tweaking them, and you learn like that. But don't ever release them, because any modder in the world will be perfectly fine with you editing for your own use mods, because that's how they learned, more than likely. And that's how most people learn. And quite honestly, that's the best way to learn, is to take mods that are from a good source, that are well made, and start editing them. If you break them, so what? You fix it. Then you learn what goes wrong when you do something, and how to fix whatever you broke. It's particularly good with maps. The best way to learn how to map is to rip a map entirely apart and start over. Or take something like Ballincraig, which I'm not going to do myself, but this would be how I'd do it. Say Ballincraig. I don't like how tight the yard is. Well, the first thing I'd do is I'd rip the yard apart and just kind of pop everything up off the map or under the map and kind of plan out a new yard layout that has a bit more space, not too much, but a bit more, so that still kind of has the tightness, but is a bit more farm sim friendly. And the easiest way to do that in Ballincraig is to get rid of the unnecessary stuff. So the cattle, there's a big area that's just a cattle run, that'd go away. But yeah, Farm Sim for Dummies is really helpful. Farm Sim modding for Dummies, which if you're on, I think if you're on Steam, you should have I think it's out there in various places. I think it might even be on GDN at this point. Some of the information is old, it's for FS13, but quite honestly, like, that's the single best resource for somebody who has no idea what they're doing, how to start off. Because you learn the absolute basics, and then you can use those basics to build. And you're no longer just some guy who doesn't know what they're doing with a map, you're somebody who knows what they're doing but doesn't quite know how they're doing it yet, and you'll learn that over time. You have 300 tabs open. Why? GDN and in the game folder. Yeah. It's actually a really wonderful resource. Cattle Crops are doing tutorials. I saw that. I think that might be countering, or an attempt to counter BulletBill's complaint that modding looks very difficult for cattle and crops. Which, if they're doing that to counter that argument, I'm kind of okay with that. If they're doing it to get more people into modding, I'm definitely okay with it. Hey, it's the boy up the road from Jim's house. I remember you. You have my favorite name on YouTube now. Because that is such a wonderful name. It's so dumb. Why not? Should be complexity. I think mapping will be a lot more difficult because of the way cattle and crops are doing it. They're kind of basically hard coding course play into the game and making the mapper come up with the courses, which is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. There's going to be a lot more splines involved. You've got the dynamic terrain, which I have no idea how that's going to work with mapping. You know, it's very difficult to see how easy or difficult modding for cattle crops is going to be. In terms of vehicles, it's probably going to be about the same as putting, making a vehicle with IC for Farm Sim. You're back, what'd you miss? More seeding, Patrick. Hello, GD. How are we doing today? We're doing good. Doing good. So something I want to talk about real quick is an idea Boogie298 had, and it got noticed by YouTube. Because I think it's a really good idea. He suggested, and I completely agree with this, that instead of sponsors just getting kind of the green text in chat and, you know, a few emotes, especially now it's been rolled out to everybody on YouTube, that sponsoring could be an ad block on YouTube, where YouTube looks to see if, we'll say, just random example, the boy up the road from Jim's house has sponsored RainbowDave. Quick yes no question when loading a video. And if it's a no, then they get ads. If it's a yes, then YouTube says, okay, this person has spent, what was it, $4.99 to sponsor RainbowDave. We're not gonna run ads because they've already kind of covered the ad revenue, more than the ad revenue we would have got from this person. It's kind of a, I guess, an expansion of YouTube Red and a way around it, in a way. And YouTube replied to that tweet. I'm going into a lot more detail than Boogie did. YouTube replied to that tweet and said, that's actually a good idea, we'll kind of put it on file and keep it in mind, which I kind of hope YouTube does it, because number one, it gives, on a kind of a selfish personal note, gives me something to advertise to you guys, a reason to sponsor. You know, you sponsor the channel, you will never get ads from me again, as long as you're sponsored. You don't sponsor, you get ads. You know, you watch a couple of ads per video and you're good. It's a good way for YouTube to make more money, because they're a business, that's all they ever want. And all they care about, and they don't really give a damn about the end user. They care about the advertisers, as they have proven recently. Through all the damn controversies YouTube keeps having with, hey, these ads are like hilariously inappropriate, why are they on YouTube? Well, the advertiser paid for them. If the advertiser pays, then YouTube doesn't care what they're putting out. As proven by all the ads for scams. You don't get ads anyway. I do. I've got my I've got whitelists on and whatnot, so that I'm not a scumbag. Welcome back, Adam. You didn't go for long. So let's get the cedar put away. Like that. See you, Lone Wolf. Enjoy the rest of your day. Need the 240 in 4 gear, and away we go. Back again, welcome back, Sideways. What do we think about the Contractors mod? I will be honest, I have absolutely no idea what use it has in-game. Like, it gives you people to tab around instead of vehicles, which I guess if you only plan on using a few, it's kind of useful, but it makes everything look like multiplayer. So if I were to use it, for example's sake, I would get so many questions There's this multiplayer. It looks like multiplayer. Why are there names over this person's head? Go away. So I don't plan on using it. Plus, I don't feel like it's compatible with the rules of the challenges I've got. Although I may use it for a joke video that I've kind of got in mind at some point. Yeah, that... I think that's all it's good for is, kind of comedy bits. Ads, what are they? Where's my face? It is too hot. I am sweaty boy. Webcam is turned off. Although there's a nice cool breeze blowing in now. Like if I started the stream now, I'd have the webcam on because it'd be, I wouldn't feel overly hot. But I started when it was really hot and there was no breeze earlier, so I decided to be smart and not roast myself. So, we now have, and I'm actually way ahead of where I thought I'd be right now, which is good. We now have to do the spuds. With the world's most adorable potato planter, let's turn it on. And away we go. There's no animations on this, which is a bit of a shame. I've just noticed that. That is a bit of a shame. Don't want to go in cab. My webcam is bottom left, yes. What breed of spuds? Spuddington spuds. Spuddy McSpud faces. The spuddy kind of spuds that are spuddy. It's the smallest potato planter you've seen. Same, which is why I'm using it. Basically, the plan on this map is just to use the smallest equipment I could find. In most cases. I'm not using a small baler because that would be a bit too far. And by a bit too far, I mean I would just quit forever if I was trying to do small bales with these size of fields. Because I'd have to pick them all up manually and throw them into a trailer or something. And that would not be fun for anybody, including myself. So the reason we're splitting this field in two is number one, because it means we can get double crop out of it. Number two, because we don't need that many potatoes. And number three, because we got a teeny tiny potato harvester, and I don't want to... You know, I could have done this entire field in potatoes if I really wanted to, but with the potato harvester we have, we're not going to be going very fast or very far with it, so I figured I'd use the smallest field area I have for crops to do the potatoes. And the smallest field area I have, conveniently, is the top of field 10. As for why we're doing potatoes in the first place, it is for the pigs. The pigs will need potatoes as food. And the smallest, well, the pigs need potatoes or beets. And I was looking around, the smallest beet harvester I could find was the CD Models Armour Salmon, which requires 100 horsepower, which is beyond what I have. Potato harvester I found, however, requires 30. And yes, also I don't want to do 15 streams worth of I'm harvesting potatoes. I'm harvesting potatoes. I'm still harvesting potatoes. Look at the potatoes. I've got potatoes. Does anybody need potatoes? I've planted way too many potatoes. Please stop with the potatoes. I hate potatoes now. Why did I do potatoes? Screw the pigs, I'm going home. And then the final stream of the series would be I quit farm sim forever. It's still probably going to be a stream or two just for the potato harvest. Because there is going to be a lot of forwards and backwards with it. Is Landy streaming? I have no idea. I presume so. But your guess is as good as mine there. You know, I'm not going to say yes and then find out in, what, 25, 30 minutes time that, oh no, Landy's not streaming today. And I'm not going to say no and then in half an hour say, oh yeah, Landy is actually streaming. So Landy will stream if he streams. So we got not too much of this field to do. Like we've got the bulk of it yet to do. But once we get this done, and I am kind of calling field 10 2 fields because of the way we've got it planted. Once we get this done, we'll just need to run through the field with the fertilizer spreader, spritz it with fertilizer, and then we're good. We're good. You have the texture potato planters leaves. Yeah, it looks so good. Like this is one of the best textures in Farm Sim. Especially on the West Coast, which BulletBill does, I believe, have custom textures for it. It looks like potatoes. And it looks 3D, you know, you look at it from different angles and it looks slightly different because of the normal maps. And that's kind of the ideal for Farm Sim textures, and it's not going to change anytime soon. So we might as well, as a community, try and perfect the textures from maps, especially modded maps, as much as we can, because that way we at least get pretty looking flat textures. I think this is pretty close for perfect. I think this texture is by Kim G, who's kind of the texture expert around Frontier modding, or Frontier design, even. Definitely did a lot of the Seasons textures and Seasons work, and a lot of the textures for various maps and crops and whatnot. I think the ground textures here are Kim G's design. I think. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong, in fact. One thing I don't like about the default potato texture, which this most definitely is not, is that, and this is, I guess, a bit nitpicky, in GE it looks almost identical to the cloud texture, which makes it very difficult to work with. And I know Lanceybo's had this issue where it's particularly in like converted maps, it tends to wonk stuff up a lot, and you end up with like potato texture where there should be cloud texture, and cloud texture where there should be potato texture, because they look almost identical. And that's kind of a... I'm gonna say it's a failure of Giants to get the textures quite right. Hey, Jim. Long time no see indeed. How are you doing, dude? We've gotten to new lows of stupid. Because I've decided that the best thing to do on the West Coast for a little while is to use the smallest equipment I can find. For most things. I have left bailing out of it. I think I'm using the smallest round baler I could find. Although I am tempted to try out the, or have a look at the one that went up on the mod hub this week. See what horsepower requirements it has. Oh no, that one I don't like because it's got 5,000 litre bales. The bales are weird. Hello Philip, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. So I'll probably spend the rest of this stream seeding potatoes, or planting potatoes, I think is the correct term. And then hopefully the next Insanity stream, which will be Sunday, we will... 426 will do for now. We will get going on the rest of the potatoes, finish that off. Although I might be nice to you guys, do it off camera later tonight, and just record a time lapse to throw up after the video goes live. New baler requires 90 horse. I can't power that. And the bales are too big. He's a bit too much. It is way too much. That's why I don't do the face cam on, Jim. It's no. Please stop. I am uncomfortable. This does me a discomfort. But yeah, that baler went up on that. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that the bales are, I believe, standard giant size, but somehow 1,000 liters more in capacity. That no, I don't like that. It strikes me as cheaty. If there were bigger bales, then yeah, I'd be fine with it. But the fact that they look almost identical to the Giants bales is a kind of gives me red flags that there's something. There's probably not, but it's a big red flag that there's maybe something more serious wrong with the baler. But one thing I will say is FSI team releasing 2 more mods this week, while still working on their DLC and getting it out on... Oh no, they never got it out, did they? That DLC ain't happening, is it? That DLC just ain't happening, because... Like... I've narrowed it down to 2 possibilities. Either the DLC isn't happening, and nobody wants to say that it's not happening, or the FSI team are somehow inept at timekeeping and have decided to prioritize a bunch of mods before something that'll get them a lot of money. Now, I prefer to think that it's just that the DLC won't happen ever, because that's the one that doesn't make FSI team look dumb. And I want to think that they are smart people, they know what they're doing, and they've realized that the DLC... Maybe the DLC just required a lot of work, and 1 or 2 of them are working on it in the background while the mods are coming out just to keep everybody happy. But at the same time, you know, MadXGS brought out his DLC. That required a metric butt ton of work, and he's one person. If a full team can't beat him to getting the DLC out, it kind of hints that maybe it's not coming at all. But that's just my opinion. I mean, I prefer to think that the DLC just ain't coming over FSI being inept or something. But I guess either is a possibility. I enjoy how this potato texture only works in one direction, by the way. Like, it only looks really good in one direction. like to have a snowback. Maybe not that cold, but like somewhere in the middle. We've gone from hyper winter to super summer. Chatsphere's calm. Yeah, everybody's left for some reason. Seems like they don't care for the DLC. Yeah, I mean, it's really odd. I don't know what is going on with them. Maybe there was a big argument and they like nearly split and decided that in order to keep the team together they had to stop the DLC work. Maybe the people, and it seems to be just the one person. Let me be clear. It seems to just be the one person releasing mods as far as I can tell. Hello, Smith Farm. Maybe they decided to quit the DLC project and just make their own mods because they figured it'd be faster, and as far as I can see, yes, it is faster. Maybe they're having trouble getting reference images and reference data for the DLC. But there's definitely something amiss with potatoes. Badly implemented games need some gameplay changes before playing. Yeah, potatoes and sugar beets are like really questionably implemented. I find. But at the same time, it's like this is the best way that they. Well, this is the way they work, and we just have to deal with it. Not enough DLCs. What about? What do you mean, Jared? You're saying Farm Sim didn't bring out enough DLCs in the game that they brought out the most DLCs in? Ever? Should we plow till reach these donors? So, I mean, yeah, there should be more steps, but at the end of the day, and I'll say this to the end of time more than likely, Farm Sim is an arcade game, and they've implemented potatoes in a way, in a manner that works for people who have no idea what farming is like in real life. Like me, I don't farm in real life. I don't have any clue what actually goes on a farm. I can make educated guesses. I can learn from you guys telling me, but I can do research online, but I can't at the end of the day say this is how things work on a farm. So, I'm gonna be honest about that. Like, I've realistically no idea what I'm doing. That's why I don't play realistically 90% of the time. And even the realistic series is a lot of compromises just to suit gameplay. It's a cute planet. It is adorable. It's not the greatest in the world. I mean, the textures are very flat. It's not. If I wasn't doing Insanity, I probably wouldn't ever use this. But it's not bad. It's, I want to say, Polish, judging by the alphabetic spaghetti on the back. Farm Sim is a very vague thing. Should be more DLCs, not mods. You tell that, Jared, to the guy who on Giant's Twitter has been harassing them for the last I don't know how long about, I think it's 3 little problems with Platinum, and every time Farm Sim tweets something, and it's hilarious. I was looking through this account the other day, and every 4 or 5 days when Giants tweet, "Fix this bug, I demand it, I have paid, I demand you fix this." No. I wouldn't be too surprised if Giants have him muted at this point. Because it's ridiculous. Like he just spams them every time they post anything on Twitter about anything. That there's a few minor bugs in Platinum that nobody really cares about, because most of the ones he's found are with sugarcane, which nobody uses. Sugarcane looks to have been a flop. That's because it just takes too long to do. It's yeah, they won't touch it. They're building 19. They'll probably build those bug fixes in. And like, you know, at the end of the day, it's a game. There's gonna be bugs. It's 2018. You screaming at them all day for typical. I think Giants thought, because people have been calling for a new crop forever. It's always the #1 thing is like FS17 release, and people were really happy that there was the new crop in the form of soybeans and poplars to a certain extent, but nobody really does poplars because they take too long and they're such a pain to harvest. Giants maybe should have learned from that. I'm presuming that all the licenses for Platinum were in place at the start of the game, because Giants didn't learn from the I guess the mistake of poplars. Where it was a really good idea, really nice idea, because it requires different equipment to normal, but it just wasn't implemented very well. Everybody paid for the game and the season pass. They should do more. I didn't pay for any season pass. There was no season pass on PC, Jared. And quite frankly, the console guys got a good deal with the season pass for what they got. The DLCs for FS17 have by and large been really good, high quality, and the game hasn't had that many horrific bugs as it used to. So, I mean, if you want to complain about getting ripped off, that's fine, but I can wholeheartedly tell you, you did not get ripped off, because even on PC, I found the DLCs, for the most part, to be reasonably priced. And with FS17, it was the highest density of DLCs we have ever seen for a farm sim game. Plus, Giants aren't in charge of mods being developed. Mods that come to console are user created. Giants just test them. And it's relatively easy for Giants. They just test the mods on PC. If they work on PC, then they plug them into a little machine that says yes or no for console. There's no vast amount of work that people seem to think goes into testing mods. No, it's just, for the most part, run it through GE, and if GE flags up an error, then hey, fail. If the game flags up an error, then hey, fail. Maybe 19 they will. I'd prefer to see Giants working on a second game over more DLC for Farm Sim, quite honestly. Because Giants right now are a single game company. And they used to have a lot more. They used to have Construction Simulator, they used to have Ski Region Simulator, and granted they were both in the FS11 engine and weren't very good as a result, but if they got developed alongside Farm Sim, Giants might well have 3 times the amount of money but right now. Because I think I would play a game about, you know, maintaining a ski region, if it was done right. Would I pay for more Farm Sim DLC? That if Giants were to bring out more DLC, there would be less stuff per DLC. That I can guarantee you. No, I wouldn't pay for, you know, the same amount for less content. FS17 DLC, #1, there's been the most ever. And #2, the DLC packs that they've brought out have been extremely high quality and have had the most equipment ever. The Coon DLC was probably about as much equipment as you got in the entirety of FS15 as DLC. In just the one pack. And then you had Big Bud, which had a fairly similar amount of stuff. Platinum was a flop, but you know, that happens. Platinum had some good ideas that didn't work. That happens. So I don't get the argument that Giants didn't bring out enough paid content this time around. Because Giants have brought out more paid content for FS17 than they ever have in the past. And the quality of that content was a lot higher than it was in the past. And the density and value for money in that content was a lot higher than in the past. So I'm not gonna entertain even the notion that, oh, console players are ripped off because they bought a season pass. Well, so you got a season pass, you save money overall. You add up the amount the DLCs cost, you saved money. I've paid out a lot more than you in DLC costs for Farm Sim. You look at how PDLC with a lot of content is better than many fewer machines. Look at, yeah, look at, is it Pure Farming are releasing like one machine per DLC? Kun, honestly, like, between Kun and Big Bud, they're the two best DLCs. Because Kun brings a lot of smaller size equipment in, the baler wrapper combo, as well as a nice mower, a nice tether, a nice rake, even though I don't use it much, I do like it. Kun brings a lot to the table in terms of, like, equipment variation. Big Bud, yeah, it's all big stuff. But it makes sense, and it allows a progression beyond the quad track. Or the T9, or the Challenger 900. You know, it's the next logical step in terms of equipment sizes on, I guess, even European maps, but mainly American maps. And it's nice to see more American equipment in. Granted, it's also nice to see more European style equipment in the Kun DLC, but you got one DLC for Europe, one DLC for the US, and one DLC in the form of the Platinum DLC for kind of South America / the rest of the world. And granted, it was a flop, but Giants didn't know that before they released it. Hell, me and Landykid didn't know it when we were making videos on it. We thought, when we did this, at midnight when the DLC came out, downloaded it. We were on TeamSpeak, we downloaded it, and TeamSpeak emptied. After about 5 minutes of it being out. Once we had it downloaded, installed, and everything set up, TeamSpeak emptied because we had to record. We had to get the videos done because traditionally, DLCs have been big money for YouTube coverage. GD's not behind. Chat's just really slow, Jared, don't worry. But FS17 was a bit weird. I think it's coming up to the time where I can start talking about FS17 in the past tense. FS17 has been a weird game. For me, as a YouTuber, and for Landy, and for GD, and for VF, it's been bizarre. The stuff that we've learned over time, we're finishing off the seeding. I wasn't really expecting to get this all done today, but we're pretty close. This is the last field that needs seeding and planting, and we'll get this done the next 20 minutes or so, but it looks like Landy... Ooh, motorbike. If Landy's streaming, he'll be starting up in probably a couple of minutes. And we'll be good to go. It's called being tied. Me and Landy can do it because we got cynically, we've got audiences that are big enough that we can potentially make a profit or at least break even from DLC coverage. Landy won't have that problem anymore. I'm hoping to not have that problem anymore very soon. I'm doing my damnedest to get into the media partner program with Giants, because any money I can save is a good thing. With the amount YouTube brings in financially, it's definitely helpful. And VF as well. But FS17 has been weird because like maps just haven't had the longevity they had before. Back in FS15 you could play a map for 50 episodes straight, and episode 50 you might, you know, episode 40 you might start seeing a bit of a drop off towards the end. But now that drop off comes at episode 15, 20. And by episode 25, 30, you're down to next to no views. And that's been the trend throughout FS17. We've basically had to... Depends on the map. It does to a certain extent. The likes of BulletBill and David maps, you gotta rinse them. You gotta go through them really hard, really quick. And farmers say they have more money. You just did 50 eps. Yeah, but we're in a lull, VF. That's the thing, is like, once the lull hits, and we're in it now, you can have a lot longer series. Traditionally. I don't know if that's going to be the case now. But that's the tradition, is the lull hits in around E3 time. People will watch. You'll get tend to get a lot of subscribers around this time, last summer, and people looking forward and looking for news. They'll come to you and ask for the news and whatever. But you can go a lot longer with series because people just want to watch Farm Sim for whatever reason. They just want to kind of, I guess, get back into the mood for Farm Sim and get into that feeling again. And that's when I had my big growth back in FS15, is I kind of nailed it right at the right time. But in FS17, it's been really slow and really weird and just off. Because everything I knew for FS15 just didn't apply anymore. FS19, I'm going to change things up significantly. I'm going to... assuming I don't have a job by then. Because that is a very big if. Because if I've got a job and it means that I can't do YouTube to the level that I currently do, or at all, I will be changing things up regardless. But if things are staying the same as they are now, things will change. Because I want to change how I do things for FS19. I want to change content up a lot. I'm not going to go full Dagger and go hyper-realism and then trying to be the squad. I'm not going to go the squad and do all the stupid stuff, but I'm going to do my own thing like I've been doing the last 4 years, nearly, and do it in a more refined style, I think. I'm not going to chase views, Farmer to Line. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to do it for views. I'm going to do it because I want my videos to be as good as they can be. We've got all the seed. This wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to finish this today, but okay. If you chase views, you'll quit YouTube real quick. If you chase content you're happy with, you'll find that you'll enjoy YouTube more and you'll get more views. That's why I've stopped doing videos temporarily, is because I'm not happy just putting out the same 4, 5, 6 videos all the time. I want to wait for something that catches my interest that I can figure out a good, interesting series on. You shouldn't chase anything on YouTube, VF, ever. You should chase enjoyment, and that's it. If you chase watch time, you won't enjoy it. If you chase views, you won't enjoy it. If you chase money, you won't enjoy it. If you chase fun, you'll enjoy yourself. Fun is where everything comes in. Fun gets you views, fun gets you watch time, fun gets you money, I guess. But chasing any of those three is a recipe for disaster. And I should know. If you chase a statistic, you will become one. You'll become the statistic of how many people have quit YouTube over the years by trying to chase the statistics and analytics. If you do your own thing, you'll be yourself, you'll do well. I say that, and I'm looking at the sub numbers, and I've not gained a single subscriber this stream. I've done well. Tomorrow I'll be streaming the Sandy Bay Challenge, by the way. We'll be back on Sandy Bay. I can't remember even what we're doing on that map. But we'll be back on Sandy Bay for the stream. I will be bringing videos back on Monday, but they're going to be a bit kind of everywhere. It's going to be the realism series, realistic roleplay on Cobra. And we'll be joining John as he prepares to get mowing. We're into that phase of things on the map. I did a lot of camera work last night to get, or the other night to get there. Jared, you realise this is my channel and I make all the decisions on what videos do and don't go up, right? On what maps I do and don't play. I'm playing West Coast here. I'm not doing a second video on West Coast. Or a second series on West Coast. Landy is going live. Is he live now, Sideways? Or is he just like on a timer? But yeah, this is the West Coast. Which is kind of a major point. This entire challenge is built around me making the West Coast as difficult a map as is humanly possible. While still being playable now. Landy's live, full live. Well, I will leave you guys by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on the Insanity Challenge. Stop fertilizing. And if you enjoyed, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, he's got busts in. Nice. I might pop in and watch that if I'm back in time. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.